Who's your gardener here? Hello YouTube. It's been a while since I put a video up. I've been a busy man here lately. Started my tomatoes somewhere around January, probably the 4th week of January. These lights might be messing with the way this looks, but I've planted some Italian beefsteaks, some pineapple tomatoes. Those are the yellow and red looking tomatoes. They're delicious, low acid. Planted several Romas, ox hearts, and then I have a small yellow variety that is just delicious. Anyways, today I am transplanting peppers, bell peppers. I planted multiple seeds in each pot, and so what I'm doing is I'm separating those out. Now some of these, they don't even have their secondary leaves on them yet, and I know some of these may not make it, because some of these have just barely started to break through the ground and so forth, and they're already getting transplanted. They may or may not. I always go ahead and just take the chance. The reason I went ahead and did it, because they were planted in a cluster in the same starter pots. That's what I started them in. The larger ones had already got secondary leaves, and so I thought, well, they're shadowing out the others, so we'll take a chance. I will get some out of these. Like I said, I may not get all of them, but I will get some of them. Anyways, I wanted to just kind of show you the process that I'm doing here. I have my yellow container down here. I've had this poor old container for years. It's what I keep and mix all my soil and stuff in. And I've got a this little tool I got at the hardware store eons ago, and it's to actually clean out your gutter, but it makes for a perfect scoop for loading pots up. Several years at the 4-H fairgrounds, they had left these behind, and I asked if I could get them. These little pots actually had geraniums in them, and they had planted them all over, the fairgrounds to make it look pretty for the fair. And anyways, I asked if I could get them, and they said, yeah, take all you want. And so I just reuse them from year to year. Thought I'd try something different. Last year I did do the wicking pots down here, which I was impressed with. They worked extremely well. So the only issue I had with them was the size. It used a lot of soil. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to take the caps off, and then maybe get a 20 ounce bottle or something like that, and use a smaller size bottle. These were all 2 liters. I kind of got a problem. I've always had the idea of go big or go home. Well, in this case, it was just too much soil. Okay, so to fill those pots, but they worked extremely well. But I had these; they were already available, and I thought I'd just use these this year. So what I'm doing is separating these little pepper plants out. I kind of crumble the majority of the dirt and stuff off of them here, and then I'm just taking them over and I'm sinking them in this little bucket full of water, and you can see they separate real easy that way. And then I just transplant them into one of these pots. I fill it with my potting soil. This is just good old Miracle Grow You know, I know a lot of people are against the old Miracle Grow, but you know what? It's a good starter mix. I've used it for years. A lot of times, if I have stuff that don't grow, my old potted plants that don't grow, I just recycle the soil and put it back in here, put a little fertilize, a little mulch in with it, and it works out fine. You know, a compost, and but it's nothing more than just the starter base of it. I guess I should say is just Miracle Grow starter, and I've used it for years, never had any issues with it. But that's how I'm getting these pepper plants apart. Just let them soak in that little water for a little bit. It kind of loosens up all the roots, and then I can take them and plant them into these little pots here. And then what I'll do, I about quit watering from up top. If you water up top, it generates a lot of mold on the top of your plants, you know, top of your soil. And so I simply just water down in the base, and then the plants will pick up what they need. I typically do that about every 2, maybe 3 days, and then I just check them, and then I will mix in some fertilize at least once a week or so until they get pretty good size. These tomato plants are doing really well. I started them in these little starter pots, and when they sprouted out, I separated them just like I did. I'm doing these pepper plants, and I planted them deeper because you can do that with a tomato plant. We all know that these little hairs on the, you probably can't see them, maybe there, yes. The little hairs on the tomato plants, if you plant that plant deeper, it will grow roots off of those little hairs. And that's what I did. So these tomato plants are all the way down into the bottom of these cups. And so they've doubled in size just by doing so. So got a little bit of some herbs back there in the corner. I'm going to do some transplanting on those. I had some mint and some Mama wanted some thyme and whatnot, and so I planted her a whole little mess of herbs, oregano and whatnot. And I think I'm going to just put those in. I've got a large pot on my deck, and I think I'm just going to put a mixture of those on it, and or in it, I should say, not on it. And then it'll be good to go. Sorry for the little bit of a background noise. I've got a little heater over here. Excuse me, I got a cold. And that heater, of course, keeps these plants warm. I'm out here on my sun porch. And the sun porch is insulated, but it's got a lot of windows, so it does get cool in here. So, all right, who's your gardener here? Lord bless. Have a good day.